Hello friends, good morning. My name is Akash I am a coordinator at Karunyakara Institute of Dalit Knowledge and PhD scholar at Delhi University. Karunyakara Institute of Dalit Knowledge is founded by Professor Dr. Leela Karunyakara sir, and his idea behind this institution to provide academic space for doctors, professors and social scientists who are engaged in the field of Dalit studies. Today, Karunyakara Institute of Dalit Knowledge is going to have its 62nd lecture. Its lecture is a part of a series that we started on the occasion of Dr. Ambedkar Jayanti, 14th of April 2025. Today, Professor Dr. Leela Karunyakara is going to chair and deliver the lecture. So, before starting the lecture, I like to welcome and introduce Professor Dr. Leela Karunyakara. Professor Dr. Leela Karunyakara is a distinguished academician, former Vice Chancellor, and a visionary founder of the Institute of Dalit Knowledge. A deeply accomplished scholar, he holds a PhD from prestigious Jawaharlal Nehru University, JNU, New Delhi. As an author of seminal work, History of Dalit Identity and Modernization of Buddhism. Throughout his illustrious career, Dr. Karunyakara has been innovator in higher education and social advocacy. He begins his teaching journey as an assistant professor in the School of Ambedkar Studies at Babasaheb Bhimrao Ambedkar University, BBAU, a central university in Lucknow, where he permanently enriched the curriculum by introducing pioneering Dalit history course into the MA history program. A staunch champion for institutional equity, he was instrumental in implementing a 50% reservation policy for SC/ST students in BBAU admission, and he further strengthened student and faculty representation by founding Ambedkar University Dalit Student Union in 2000 and Babasaheb Bhimrao Ambedkar Central University SC/ST Teachers Association in 2006. Later, he brought his extensive expertise to Mahatma Gandhi Antarashtriya Hindi Vishwavidyalaya, serving with distinction as an director cum professor at Babasaheb Bhimrao Ambedkar Sidhu Kanun and Murmu Dalit and Tribal Studies Center, as the Dean of School of Culture and ultimately the Vice Chancellor of the University. I welcome Professor Dr. Leela Karunyakara sir, and I request to please deliver his lecture. Professor Leela Karunyakara sir going to deliver his lecture on Annihilation of Caste and is section 23rd. So I request Professor Karunyakara sir, please deliver his lecture.
Shalom, Jai Bhim. Good morning to everyone. As we all know that Karunyakara Institute of Dalit Knowledge is conducting series of Dalit Knowledge lectures, and I am dealing with Ambedkar's original text, Annihilation of Caste, section 23 is the today's discussion. As we know very well that Ambedkar's Annihilation of Caste consists of 26 sections, and each section Ambedkar picked a theme, a subject that's broadly related to Annihilation of Caste. This section, 26th section, it is dealing with whether Brahmin religion or Hindu religion, for that matter, is it a religion or it is a code of laws? Ambedkar want to say very clearly that this Brahminical Hindu religion is a code of laws. Ambedkar did not want to call this as a religion. So Ambedkar keep on saying that Hinduism is not a religion, it's a code of laws. Ambedkar says that there is a distinction between rules and principles. Rules are practical. They are followed, habitually followed, as they are prescribed. Rules are prescribed by the authorities. Say, for example, you are you want to follow traffic rules. Red light, you have to stop with your vehicle. Green light, you have to move forward. This is Yellow light, you have to slow down. So this is what, traffic rules. How do you follow this traffic rule? You follow mechanically, because these rules have been prescribed to the commuters, to the riders who ride vehicles. Same is the case with cooking any food, any recipe. There's a system. First you have to first you have to boil oil, cooking oil. Then you have to put certain things. Then you have to put the vegetables. Then you have to heat it up. Then you have to put the chili powder. These are all what? These are all rules to prepare vegetable curry or mutton curry, chicken curry, fish curry, prawn curry, any curry. So these are all rules. These rules are followed mechanically without even applying your mind. Because once you know the rule, then when you follow the rules, it becomes a habit. So rules are being followed habitually. But principles are intellectual. Rules are practical. If you don't follow the red light, if you don't follow the traffic rule, you will be in danger. You will be in danger. Immediately you may face road accident. And you may be fined by the police authorities. If you don't follow the cooking rules, the recipe, you don't prepare proper food, proper curry. So rules are practical. They are habitual because you keep on following them. Because rules are prescribed. But principles are not prescribed. Principles are not prescribed by any government. So for example, Constitution of India, it is a book of rules. They are prescribed. If you don't follow the rule, you will be fined. You will be punished. But at the same time, the spirit and philosophy of the Constitution of India is based on certain principles. And principles are naturally universal. Liberty, equality, fraternity, justice. These are principles. They are not rules. They are principles. What is the rule? The rule is that there should be 15% reservation for the SC/ST, for the scheduled caste in government jobs. That is a rule. You have to follow that rule. If you don't follow, there will be punishment. If not punishment, the expected results will not happen. So rules to be followed to get the expected results. But principles are intellectual. They are followed with a responsibility. So you take your responsibility to follow principle. There are many people, they don't want society to be equal. They don't believe that the principle of social equality. They don't believe that all Indians are equal. So some people believe that some Indians are superior and some Indians are inferior. They believe in that philosophy. But we Ambedkarites believe that all Indians are equal. No Indian is superior, no Indian is inferior. Rule says that all Indians are equal. Constitution of India says that all Indians are equal. But some citizens of India don't believe it. So to follow the principle of equality, you need to be so principles are being followed only by having a responsibility. Ambedkar, let me read about Ambedkar, what Ambedkar exactly says. Rules and principles. This distinction is real and important. Rules are practical. They are habitual ways of doing things according to prescription. But principles are intellectual. These are the words of Ambedkar. Principles are intellectual. What are these principles? They are methods of judging things. He is a bad person. How do you judge? Based on the principle, not based on the rules. If someone says that scheduled caste should not have 15% reservation, they should not have. Someone says that's against the rule. But you can't tell him he's a bad person, because his view is that scheduled caste should not have a 15%. Some people say that scheduled caste should not have any reservation at all. Yesterday I have seen that there was some movement. Earlier, these people used to have a movements like anti-reservation movements. But since already 10% reservation is given to the caste Hindus, general caste people, now they can't say that anti-reservation movement. They used to call their movement anti-reservation movement because they are not having a reservation. Now they are having reservation. EWS reservation, economically weaker sections reservation for general caste people. Since now, if they can't call their movement anti-reservation movement, if they call it means that they are against their own reservation, EWS reservation. So that's why now they are calling their movement not anti-reservation movement. You know what is the name of their movement, which happened yesterday in Delhi? They led some dharna in Delhi. This some general caste people who are opposing the SC/ST reservations, but their movement name is very interesting. What is that? Reservation Reform Movement. Very interesting. See, in the whole world, any section, any community that makes a movement, dharna, rally for their own demands. But these are the people very peculiar. Nowhere you could find such a people anywhere in the world. Such a people we have in India. This anti-SC/ST people. These anti-ST people, they are not fighting for their demands. Yesterday, they called Reservation Reform Movement. Earlier they used to call anti-reservation movement, but they changed the name from anti-reservation to Reservation Reform Movement. Why they changed the name? As I said, they were not having reservations earlier. That's why they used to say their movement. They used to call their movement anti-reservation movement. They don't want reservation at all in India. But since now they have a movement, since now they have a EWS reservation, they can't say their movement is an anti-reservation movement because they already have a reservation, 10% reservation. This general caste people have in the name of EWS. That's why they called their movement a Reservation Reform Movement. I'm repeating second time this. Remember this. Because why I'm repeating, you people must have a clarity what is happening in India as far as social justice is concerned. So these are the people, they are primarily against the reservations. So, if anyone sitting on Dharna, recently we have a Cockroach Janata Party Dharna. What they demanded? They demanded for their own rights. What their rights? They said that we want proper quality education system in India. That was their basic demand. So anybody who sits for Dharna rally, who demands something, anybody who lead a movement for some demands, their own demands. But these are the people you cannot find anywhere in the world. These people, they are not demanding for themselves. They are demanding certain things for the scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, which scheduled caste, scheduled tribes never asked. Dalits and Adivasi people never asked this reservation reform movement people to demand something for them, for the Dalits and Adivasi. Dalits and Adivasi never asked them. Demanding something for the Dalits and Adivasi. That's so very peculiar. Nowhere in the world, no movement asks something for others. They ask something for themselves. So periphery, it looks like that they are they are as if still Dalit and Adivasis are the Muk Nayak, dumb people. They are not understanding. In 2026, Dalit and Adivasi, not a dumb people. We can lead our movement. We can demand our own rights. We can fight for our own rights. Thanks to the Baba Saheb Ambedkar, thanks to the Constitution of India, we have reservations. Because of that, there is a emergence of middle class within the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. So we don't want these Savarna people, general caste people, to become a leaders of Dalit and Adivasi. We don't want these people to become a voice of Dalit and Adivasi. But very interestingly, this reservation reform movement people, they are asking the reform in the scheduled caste, scheduled tribe reservation. How funny it is. They are not demanding anything for them. Who asked them? Who asked them to reform SC/ST reservations? Did SC/ST ask them? No. But why they are asking? Why? Who are they to represent SC/ST? They started reservation reform movement. You know what is their demand? Their demand is that SC/ST reservation should be based on income. Should be based on income, not based on the caste. That is their demand. Or who are you to tell us? You demand, you ask the authorities to increase your 10% reservation to some other higher percentage of reservation. That should be your demand. Or you can ask that all general caste people should get a reservation. That should be your demand. Because only EWs are only economically weaker sections within the general caste people are getting the reservation. If you want to demand, if you want a reservation reform movement, you reform your own EWS reservation. Why are you trying to demand something for the scheduled tribe, which nobody asked? Why I'm saying that these people don't believe in the principle of social equality. As if they are, very generous to us. They are saying that we are not against the poor. All poor people should get reservation. Who are you? Being a Dalit intellectual, being a Dalit historian, we are very much concerned about the poor people of my community. Who are you to represent my people? So these are the people. Our intellectual class should pose a question. Who are these people to take a leadership for the Dalit and Adivasi? Now their demand is, that's very funny, very interesting. Nowhere in the human history I come across any such movement that is demanding for some other people's reforms, which those people never demanded. See, there are many Savarnas who fight for the Dalit rights, Adivasi rights. But those rights are demanded by the Dalits and Adivasi. Dalits are demanding that there should not be any untouchability. There should not be a caste discrimination. There are many caste Hindus. There are many general caste people. They also demand the same demands made by the Dalits and Adivasi. That is understandable. Because primarily the demands are made by that communities. But here, Dalits never made any demand for the income-based reservation. Dalits never demanded. Adivasi never demanded income-based reservations. Who are these people to demand? Who are these people to reform the SC/ST reservation? The so-called reservation reform movement not asking the reservation reform of EWS. They are asking the reservation reform of the SC/ST. How funny. That's why Ambedkar says that Hindu religion is a religion of rules. It is being followed mechanically without taking any responsibility because these rules are prescribed by the religious shastras. So Ambedkar want to say that hence Hinduism is not a religion. Religion means religion should have principles, universal principles. So Ambedkar says that it's a religion of rules. And it is never going to allow the society or individual to grow. Because if you want to have a religion of principles, then that religion of principles produces the intellectuals. Because principles are intellectual. Rules are practical. You can make a rule or you can break a rule. Who will make a rule? We humans make a rule. Why we make a rules? To make a system properly function. But that system not necessarily a good system. It could be a bad system also. But just because of rule is there, we have to follow it. If you don't want to follow the rule, you have to change the rule. You can change it. Rules can be broken. Rules can be made and remade. That's what Ambedkar says. That's why Ambedkar tells Hindus to fight against these rules. The rule of inequality, the rule of discrimination. These are all rules. These are all laws. Manusmriti is a legal code. It's a law. These are all not principles. So people simply follow these rules of discrimination without even applying the mind because they are prescribed. So for example, I tell you, 50% is a pass mark. Nobody will question why only 50%. 49% fail. 50% pass. Why not? Why can't it be 45%? Why can't it be 40%? Or why can't it be 55%? Why can't it be 60% as a pass percent? Why only 50% is a pass percent? Why can't it be 60%? Increase the standard. Let's make it a 60% as a pass percent. Whoever gets 60%, they are only passed in the exam. Otherwise, all are failed. No, I am not suggesting. I am asking that. I am explaining that why there are no questions about these things. Because these are all prescribed rules. 50% is a pass mark. 60% means first class. First class. In some places, 35% is the pass percentage. Class, third class. These are all rules. Rules nobody question. They just follow. Then only system will function. But to function system, we need rules. No need. Without rules, there is no system can function properly. But the question is that if rules are wrong, the system is wrong, then what happened? To change the system, first you have to question the rules. That's what Ambedkar says in section 23. of the annihilation of caste. So unless you question the rules of discrimination prescribed by Manusmriti, Shastras, any Shastra, unless you question the rules, unless you question the rule of discrimination, rule of caste rules, how the caste system is functioning. Caste system is functioning because there are caste rules. Why caste system is surviving for thousands of years? Because rules are just followed, habitual. Like a road rules, we are follow road rules, like a recipe for preparing a food. So rules, any system is made of rules. If you want to change a system, you have to change rules. Without changing rules, you cannot change the system. If rules are supported by the belief in the religion, God, then like adding a petrol to the fire. Already rules are bad rules, worst rules. Caste system is based on the rules of discrimination, rules of superiority, inferiority. So it's already a fire burning the whole society, or it's a virus killing the whole system. System of good system by injecting virus system. So caste is a virus system. So if you want to destroy this virus system, you have to change the rules, caste rules. But caste rules supported by the God, Bhagavan, then what do you have to do? It's adding fuel to the fire. Adding petrol to the fire. What will happen then? It will burn like anything. It's like you are strengthening the virus that kills the body from inside. That's what happening to Indian society. To our beautiful India, why this India is driven by the caste discrimination, never encourages the merit, real potential. Only caste merit is encouraged, but not the real merit. Why? Because of the rules. People simply follow caste discrimination because of the rules. And those rules are supported by the God, religion. So Ambedkar says that rules need to be destroyed. Principles, there may be wrong principles also, but such a principles which are applicable to the universal principles, those principles need to be followed. How? These are all intellectuals. Principle is an intellectual action. So any action based on rule is a mechanical. Any action based on principle is a responsible, taking responsibility. Consciousness. Any action based on principle is conscious and responsible. Any action based on the rule is practical and mechanical because rules are prescribed. Any action based on the principle is conscious and responsible because they are not prescribed. They are adopted consciously. You want to believe in the universal principle of equality. It's your conscious decision. If you don't follow, nobody bothers. Nobody will punish you. Your understanding. So principles are intellectual and need to be adopted consciously. It is your conscious. Dalit consciousness represents universal principles. Dalit consciousness represents universal principles. Principle of equality. That's a universal principle. It's not just applied only in India. You can apply this principle anywhere in the world to any human society. It's a universal principle. So Dalit consciousness is based on universal principle. So if you adapt Dalit consciousness, you are a Dalit, adapt Dalit consciousness, you are a non-Dalit, even then you can adopt the Dalit consciousness. For example, Professor Kancha Ailaya is a Shudra, is a Dravidian, he's a OBC, but he adopts Dalit consciousness. That's why he talks about universal principles like social equality. So anybody could adapt. There are Adivasis here in this meeting. You can adapt. Dr. Kiran is there, Dr. Rakesh is there. These are all Adivasi intellectuals. They can adopt Dalit consciousness. Because Dalit consciousness has universal appeal. That's the social equality, social justice. That's why Ambedkar says that if you want to bring any change in the society, particularly the Hindu society, he urges Hindus to change the rules of the caste system. So caste system will be destroyed. So India would be a best place to live in the world. So it is up to us whether we want to make it or not. In this section 23, one more aspect also Ambedkar discussed. That is dharma. What is dharma? Nowadays people are using very frequently one word, Sanatana Dharma. I met many Brahmins. They don't prefer to call themselves Hindu. There are some Brahmins who I met. They say that, no, we don't want to call ourselves Hindu. They say, I asked that why. They said that Hindu is not a Sanskrit word. It's the Arabic word. It's true. It's true. It's an Arabic word. Hindu is an Arabic word. It's not a Sanskrit word. Brahmins never thought of creating a religious identity. Why? Because Brahminism itself is it's a way of life. That's why Ambedkar said Hinduism is not a religion. It's a code of laws. Ambedkar says in the section 23, Ambedkar says Hinduism is not a religion. It's a code of laws. It is governed by code of laws. There may be some philosophy, but the practical Hindu life is governed by code of laws, not by the principles. That's what Ambedkar says. Since it is a code of laws, it's not a religion of principles, it's not a religion at all. I don't regard it as a religion. That's what Ambedkar said. So some Brahmins call themselves Sanatana Dharma. Their religion they call Sanatana Dharma. Now Ambedkar says this, what is this Dharma? Ambedkar is quoting in this 23. For a Hindu, I am quoting Ambedkar because I must not be understood. I must not be misunderstood. That's why I'm quoting the original from the original text of Ambedkar. What Ambedkar writes about Dhamma. Dharma. There is a Dhamma in Buddhism. That's a different. That's a Pali word, Dhamma. That's a Buddhist philosophy. Ambedkar never called his philosophy Buddha philosophy. He called it Gautam never called his philosophy Buddha philosophy or Buddhism. He called his philosophy Dhamma. Then Brahmins called their philosophy Dharma. That also copied from the Buddha Dhamma. They call it Dharma. It is not present in the Pali. In the Pali words, Dhamma. Priya, not Priya, Piya. Darshini, not Darshini. No R. In the Piya and Darshini, there is no R. Piya Darshini. But when you translate Piya Darshini into Sanskrit, Priya Darshini. R will come. Same way, Dhamma, Pali. Dharma, Sanskrit. Same word copied. Again, Brahmins copied the same word. So before Buddha called his philosophy Dhamma, Brahmins never thought that they should give some name to their religion. So looking at Buddha's Dhamma, they called their philosophy Dhamma. So what is the Dharma? Dharma means commands, Ambedkar is quoting. Again, see, law commands. Law commands. Principles don't command. Principles never say that you should do this, you should not do that. Principles would not say. It's a law. It's a law. Rule. Law means rule. Law will say that you should do that, you should not do that. Do's and don'ts. It's a law. It's a rules. If you enter into hospital, they will write do's and don'ts. If you enter into any office, there is a board you could find do's and don'ts. What you could do, what you should not do. Because rules are like that. That is the reason why caste system is not breaking. Caste system is sustaining, surviving because of the rules. Habitual following. Dharma means commands, rules. So Sanatana Dharma also rules. Even if you call it a Hindu, it's an Arabic word. Then also the question is, what is the label? Label is different. What is the essence? Essence is rules. Then you have to transform rules into, you have to destroy the rules, prepare a religion, reconstruct a religion on the basis of principles that appeal to the universal consciousness. So Ambedkar says dharma means commands and prohibitions is naturally commands prohibit you. You should do this, you should not do that. You should look someone as a low, you should look some other person as a superior to you. It's a rules. So Ambedkar says that dharma means commands and prohibitions. Prohibition means prohibiting anything not to do. Don'ts. You should not do that. You should not do this. You should not do that. That's a prohibition. Prohibiting you from doing something means against the freedom. So dharma means commands and prohibition. Now we may ask Ambedkar, oh, this is Ambedkar interpretation. Dharma means not like that. It's Ambedkar who is interpreting that dharma means commands and prohibition. No, Ambedkar is giving solid reference. Ambedkar is a great intellectual, great thinker of his own times. Dharma means commands and prohibitions is clear from the way the word dharma is used in Vedas and Smritis and understood by the commentators. See, Ambedkar want to say that Smritis and Shrutis, how the dharma is acted. Though Vedas were composed possibly before the Buddha, but orally only they are remembered. Vedas were written by Sayana in Krishnadevaraya from Karnataka during the medieval ages. So how much might have been interpolations? We could understand. So Ambedkar says that dharma as referred in Vedas and Shrutis as understood by the commentators, later commentators like Sayana, as a commands and prohibitions. The word dharma as used in the Vedas in most cases means religious ordinances or rites. Ambedkar says that in Veda the word dharma is used again as ordinances, rules, laws and rites, conducting some rites. How to conduct yajna, sacrifices, rules are there. How to conduct yajnas, rules. Who should conduct, rules are there. So the whole system is rule. Only Brahmin should conduct the yajna. Only Brahmin should conduct the sacrifices, fire sacrifices. only Brahmin should be a Purohita, only priest, only Brahmin should be a priest. Only Brahmin should read the Veda. These are all rules. So Ambedkar says that Dharma is a rules. Ordinances, commands that prohibits certain things. You should do not do. Generally, why the rules? The primary object of the rule is prohibiting the people not to do the things which the authorities don't want. Because of that, then only system will function. Whether the system is good or bad doesn't matter. But system will function by the rules only, according to the rules. If you think that system is bad, then what you have to do? You have to change the system. To change the system, what you have to do first? You have to change the rules. So Ambedkar says that the word dharma as used in the Vedas in the most cases means religious ordinances or rites. Ambedkar is quoting one important, Sanskrit writer, the Brahmin writer. Even Jaimini, a Brahmin writer who wrote Purva Mimamsa. Even Jaimini in his Purva Mimamsa defines dharma as a desirable goal or result that is indicated by injunctive passages in Vedas. So Ambedkar is very clear. He is quoting the authority on the Shastras, Jaimini. He is a commentator, Sanskrit commentator, a Brahmin commentator. He wrote a book called Purva Mimamsa. These are all part of a Vedic philosophy, a Vedic literature, in which Jaimini very clearly says that dharma is a desirable goal or a result that is indicated by injunctive passages in Vedas. And Vedas, what they are talking about, how they are using the word dharma. Dharma means ordinances, rules, laws, how to conduct the rites. Because in Veda, a Brahmin pray for his material things only. For cattle, what is his wealth? Cattle. And increasing his family. For that he wants son. Not a daughter, son. She worship the god of Vedas for the sun, for the cattle, for the food. This is what. So, dharma as referred in Vedas, it's referring to certain conditions, certain rules, how to do the rites, how to conduct the rites. So Ambedkar was quoting that. Who is interpreting this dharma in that way, that as a ordinances? Who is interpreting? Jaimini in his Purva Mimamsa, in his book Purva Mimamsa, Jaimini, the highest, highly regarded Sanskrit thinker. So Ambedkar quoting him. So Ambedkar want to say that dharma is simply a code of laws. Even Smriti, Manu also talking about dharma. It's a code of laws. So Ambedkar says that any religion based on the code of laws. And Ambedkar says that Sanatana Dharma. Why it is called Sanatana? Ambedkar says very clearly here. He says that why it is called Sanatana, the Dharma, why it is called Sanatana by the Brahmins? Because this code of ordinances, Dharma means code of ordinances, code of rules. Try to understand. Because frequently nowadays people are using the word Dharma or Sanatana Dharma instead of Hindu. Many of my Brahmin friends, they don't want to call themselves Hindu. Though politically Hindu is used for everyone, but my Brahmin friends whom I know, they call themselves Sanatana Dharma. Because they don't want to call themselves Hindu, because Hindu is an Arabic word. It's not a Sanskrit word, and Hindu word is not written in any any Shastras. You don't find Hindu word in Vedas. It is not there in Rig Veda, or it is not there in any Veda. Hindu is not, a word not written in any epics, Ramayana, Mahabharata. You don't find Hindu. You don't find Hindu even in Manusmriti. You don't find Hindu. You don't find Hindu even in Bhagavad Gita, which is part of a Mahabharata. There is no word in Hindu. So Hindu word itself is born in the Middle Ages. When the Arab Muslim merchants came to India, they called the people at Sindhu river Hindu. So that's basically Hindu is primarily is an Arabic word. So that's a different matter. That is the reason many Brahmins, the Orthodox Brahmins, they don't call themselves Hindu. They call themselves Sanatana Dharma. Dharmi. So Ambedkar says that Hinduism is a religion of rules, code of laws, not a religion of principles. Then Ambedkar says that even if you call this Hindu religion as a Sanatana Dharma or Dharma, then also nature will not change. Why? Because Dharma means rules. Ambedkar says Dharma means code of laws, ordinances. That is what the term Dharma is used in Vedas. That's what Ambedkar says by quoting Jaimini, the author of Purva Mimamsa. Then why it is called Sanatana Dharma? It is called Sanatana Dharma. Sanatana means eternal, forever. There is no ending. It is the same in yesterday. It is the same today. It will be same in future also, tomorrow also. There is no change. Buddha says that anything that bonds has to change and die. Three things that exists, three things happen. Anything that exists has to take, that is existing because it is born, number one. And it changes. There is a dynamism, any being. Any being has a dynamism because it changes. For good or bad, that's a different. It changes for good, it changes for bad also. That's a different. But change is inevitable. This is the Buddha philosophy says. Buddha Dhamma, Dhamma means Buddha philosophy. Dharma means philosophy. Try to understand. So Buddha philosophy, Dhamma says that very clear. Anything that exists and existence has three things. One is that is a born, that has a change, and that is. So there is some expiry date. Brahmin Dharma says that Sanatana Dharma says that it is called, Brahmin called his belief system. Brahmin calls his belief system as a Sanatana Dharma, not only Dharma, Sanatana Dharma. Dharma means code of laws, rules. But Brahmin rules has no death. No death. And no change. No change, no death. Since there is no change, no death. So Brahmin laws are called Sanatana Dharma. This Sanatana Dharma exists yesterday same, today same, and future also same. That's why it's called Dharma, called Sanatana Dharma. Sanatan means eternal, forever it stays same. This is against the natural laws. This is against the natural laws. According to natural law, every being has to born, has to change, and has to die. That's what Buddha philosophy based on the natural laws. Not only Buddha philosophy, any philosophy of any religion is based on natural law. That's why no religion says that after death there is a life. No religion says. Only Brahmin religion says. After death there is a life. And that life can be animal life also. You can born as a dog. You can born as a pig. But if you don't want animal life, you have to serve Brahmin in this life. You have to regard Brahmin as a superior to you. Then only you can born as a human next life. This is the only Brahmin philosophy. Why Brahmin philosophy believes in the next life, rebirth? Because that's what Sanatana Dharma means. There is no ending. Life has no ending. Because Brahmin law has no ending. You are understanding? So Ambedkar says that, see, I am quoting Ambedkar. These laws are that the laws it contains must be the same yesterday, today, and forever. So that is why it's called Sanatana Dharma. So now Ambedkar, so if anybody wants to know about what is the Sanatana Dharma, read Annihilation of Caste, section 23, where Ambedkar talked about the Brahmin religion is a religion, not a religion at all. It's a way of life. It's a way of life based on code of laws, not principles. That's why Ambedkar refused to call Brahminism or Brahmin way of life as a religion. Ambedkar used the term Hindu. Ambedkar said that Hinduism is not a religion because it is religion is based on principles, but Hinduism is based on laws, codes, dharma. That's why many Hindus also said Hindu dharma, but they will say other religions as Hindu panth. Sometimes some people, Hindu leaders, they don't call Christian dharma, they don't say Christian religion, they don't say. They say it's a panth. So this is what Ambedkar was talking about. So finally Ambedkar says, if you want to change the religion, you have to change the rules. If you want to, Ambedkar don't regard Hinduism as a religion because it's not a religion because it's a code of laws. It's not a code. It is not based on principles. Principles of universal principles, like principle of equality, that is applicable to all races, all societies. So any religion should be, if you want to call anything as a religion, any belief system, if you want to call any belief system as a religion, then that belief system should be based on universal principles like social, like equality, justice, that should be applicable to all races, to all societies. That's what Ambedkar says in this section. Since Hinduism is not based on principles, it's not based on universal principles, Ambedkar didn't want to call Hinduism as a religion. He wants to call it as a dharma. Even many Hindus also want to call it a dharma. So I don't think they have any objection to the Ambedkar if Ambedkar says it's not a religion, it's a dharma. And dharma means code of laws. He is quoting Vedas on the basis of Jaimini's Purvamimamsa book, his comment. And he's saying that it's Sanatana Dharma. Ambedkar also saying that it's Sanatana Dharma because it exists. They believe, Brahmins believe that it exists without any change. But Ambedkar questions, it should not be a Sanatana. It should change. Otherwise, India will be not becoming a strong society. Because the rules of Sanatana Dharma are permanent according to Brahmin, but it discriminates the people. It makes Brahmin as a superior, it makes non-Brahmins as an inferior. And many people believe Shudras. Who are the Shudras? They are Dravidians. And today majority of the Shudras are backward caste, OBCs. And I could see many of my Shudra friends, they happily accept that they are lower caste. And they happily believe that Brahmin is superior to Shudra. How funny. Shudra himself feels that he is a lower and Brahmin is superior. Why? Because rule is followed habitually. It has become habitual. It is a rule. So this is what, if you want to change, you have to reconstruct a religion on the basis of universal principles. Then only India can become a universally acceptable, a vibrant, dynamic, powerful, great society. That's what the message of Ambedkar in the section 23 of Annihilation of Caste. Jai Bhim, thank you very much. Jai Bhim, Jai Bharat. Thank you very much.
Jai Bhim, Jai Bharat. And thank you for telling us about the lecture, which is on Annihilation of Caste and its part in section 23rd, where you discuss about how the religion we generally know the dharma is a kind of a religion, a kind of religion, but it is a very distinct that it is not a religion, it is a code of conduct. And thank you for it. Now I request those who, now we are going toward the session, which is question answer session. So those who want to ask a question related to today's lecture, I request, please go ahead, please ask the question. Yeah. Those who want to ask a question related to today's lecture, please ask the question. Please go ahead. Yeah, I think there is no one. No one is going to ask the question. But I have one thing in my mind. I need to talk on that. Means I need to ask the question. And I need Professor Karunyakara sir's reflection on it. Generally, sir, we are right now, we are seeing that there was an emergence of what you said, anti-SC/ST movement, or a kind of and which was right now, which was publicly discussing, or which is very publicly, openly right now they are saying. And it's very difficult for scheduled caste and scheduled tribe to counter it nowadays. And though we are presenting Dr. Ambedkar, but there is another force who are misinterpreting, misprojecting Dr. Ambedkar. So in this case, as you discuss about the reservation also, so what are the responsibilities of scheduled caste who are engaged with such kind of philosophy, and how we are able to defend the community with respect to Dr. Ambedkar's thoughts, as we are the person who are engaging with the community, as a people of who are engaging with the community.
Mr. Akash, you are asking me in general that how to defend the Ambedkar ideas, or you want me to reflect to the that so-called reservation reform movement, which I already discussed. I reflected in during my lecture in here.
Actually, the question arises from the point which you mentioned about the movement which is going on yesterday, which has happened in Delhi. So, as you said, that it's a duty of intellectuals of Dalit community who are going to demand, and the people who are the anti-reservations, anti-SC/STs, they are demanding. So it's. I just want to hear from you what kind of steps we have to take to our voice forward.
Look, Ambedkar somewhere said rightly, any idea survives only by propagation. Like any plant needs water for survival. Plant needs water for growing. Idea needs propaganda for growing. Now, propagation can be, bad ideas are very easily propagated by certain Western interests. So good ideas need also to be propagated by good people. Now the question is that, see, during our lectures, those who are listening these lectures carefully right from the beginning, I think they must be having some clarity over what should be our position in the society. Society can be reformed, reconstructed, rejuvenated only by one particular class, that is called intellectual class. Politicians can execute ideas of intellectuals. So if you want to look for example, Karl Marx. Karl Marx was not a president of any country. Karl Marx was just a university. But he generated ideas. But those ideas were picked up by the politicians like Lenin and Stalin. So Ambedkar generated ideas. Primarily, Ambedkar was not a politician. Primarily, he was an intellectual. That was the reason why he able to write the Constitution of India. There were many politicians who are highly influential than the Ambedkar in those days. But why they were not asked to write the Constitution of India? Because Ambedkar was primarily an intellectual thinker. So Ambedkar's ideas were picked up by the Manavar Kanshiram and Banji Mayawati. They are politicians. The problem is expecting the politicians to become intellectuals. That's not the role of politicians. Creating ideas, how to respond. You are asking me, sir, how to respond these people. If intellectual respond, that will not be echoed. See, you have to create an ecosystem. Listen to me that. Without creating an ecosystem, your voice can't be reached to the... Your voice can't become effective and influential. If you want to make your voice effective and influential, if you want to make your ideas to be more impactful, you have to create an ecosystem. What is an ecosystem? Ecosystem means, like for example, you have a lake in your village, public lake. Some lake during the summer season, it will become a dry. You don't find water in that lake. But in some other village, lake is there, water is there every time in the lake, even during the summer. Even during the summer time, you find a water in that lake. Whereas in some other lakes, you don't find water during the summer period. Summer period is a difficult, tough period for the water. So some lakes never dry. Some lakes dry up. Why? Why? The lakes where the water gets dry up, that has only one source of water. Only from one channel that gets the water from the ground. In the ground, there is only one channel from which that lake is getting water. The channel is coming from somewhere, from the forest, from hills. From that channel, it is getting the water. That's the underground channel. You can't see it. So that is why that lake is naturally, the water accumulated there, it became a lake over the period of time. It's a natural lake. But whenever that water gets scant, means very less during the summertime. So water can't reach from so many hundreds of kilometers to the lake. That's why lake become the lake. There's no water in the lake. Lake gets dried up. But in some other lake where water is always there, you find many channels of water resources. Not a one. From east direction, one channel is there. West direction, another channel is there. Water channel. North direction, from south direction. So it has a 4 or 5 channels. 6, 7 channels. So if one channel water is not coming, from another channel it will come. If all channels, even little water is coming, even during the summer time, the water in the lake will be sufficient. So the lake which has many channels never gets dry up. Ecosystem is that. Ecosystem means you have to have many channels of support. Suppose social media ecosystem. What is a social media ecosystem? If you have only Instagram, then suppose earlier people used to have only, what is that? Facebook. The Facebook is banned. Your account is banned. What will happen? That's all. You are disappeared from the social media. Because Facebook is the only channel you are operating in the social media. So you have to create your own ecosystem. How do you create ecosystem? Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, then YouTube. These are all together called social media ecosystem. And the community which want to have very impactful, dominant messaging. See, this social media is a messaging apps only. All this social media, this Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, WhatsApp, what are these? Messaging apps. You have to message. Through messages, you have to send your ideas, your information. So the community which has, the organization which has this ecosystem, that will be the most powerful, effective organization. Now you are asking, sir, they are doing that thing. You see, use CJP, that Cockroach Janta Party. They created their ecosystem first. Even these people could not create. Who? This reservation, anti-reservation reform movement. I don't want to call them reservation reform movement. I want to call them anti-reservation reform movement. Because their basic problem is that they don't want scheduled caste, scheduled tribe people, middle class to emerge. Why they are against the caste-based reservation? Why they are against? Who? See, casteism is there. Who is practicing casteism? They are the people who are practicing the casteism. Their demand for income-based reservation itself is a casteism. The demand for reservation based on income itself is a casteism. Because scheduled caste got reservation not because they are poor people, not because of their economically backward, because of the untouchability, because of the caste discrimination. So how do you say that it should be income based? No. Even at the time of Ambedkar, even during the British period, there were rich Dalits. Dalits were having rich. They were wealth. But they were not getting proper opportunities still. They were not getting the space in the public space. That is the reason caste-based reservation introduced to scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. Later it is got extended to the backward caste. Backward caste got reservation because of the income disparities. No, not income. They are educationally backward. Socially, educationally backward. Even then, income criteria introduced to them. In fact, income should not be there. Income criteria should not be there even for the OBC reservation. Because their reservation basis is socially and educationally backwardness. But they introduced it. And EWS reservation introduced for the general caste people. And general caste people, majority of them are rich people, wealthy. So that's why income-based reservation. EWS reservation is income-based reservation. EWS reservation meant for the general caste people is the income-based reservation. And they are not demanding anything. They are demanding same income-based reservation. EWS reservation, they want EWS reservation within the SC/ST. That's what their demand. Their demand, reservation reform movement led by the general caste people, they want EWS reservation within the SC/ST, means economically weaker sections of the scheduled caste, economically weaker sections of the scheduled tribe. Only they should get the reservation. You know why all these things are happening? Scheduled caste people never reacted against any policy which is happening against them. They never reacted any empathy, sympathy to other scheduled castes. See, scheduled caste reservation was introduced in 1950, right? With the introduction of the Constitution of India. That's the January 26th. Am I right or not? My facts. Otherwise, you may correct it. After a few months, in the month of August or somewhere, till for 5 months, scheduled caste reservation applicable to all scheduled castes. Suddenly few Brahmins, they recommended that Brahmins, all of them are Brahmins, very interestingly. The representative from Christian religion also Brahmin. Those who are representing Christian religion also Brahmin. So all of them are Brahmins together. They represented other religions and said that only Hindu scheduled caste should get the reservation. Alright? When Constitution of India introduced, the reservation is meant for all the scheduled castes. Suddenly after a few months, they brought one letter released by the President of India. That is not passed by the Parliament. That is not not accepted by the Constitution. Simply one letter. One order issued by the President of India, which is never accepted. Even today also, Parliament never put that order for vote. Even today also. Just because of, rule is such a thing, if everybody is accepting, that will survive, even if it is illegal. That presidential order 1950, it is called Presidential Constitutional Order 1950, but it's never is a part of a Constitution of India. And never supported, never voted by the Constitution, by the Parliament of India. So when that happened, only for the Hindus, what happened? Hindu Dalits never supported non-Hindu Dalits. No, we are Hindu Dalits, but we want all scheduled castes should get. Hindu Dalits never asked it. Then what happened? All non-Hindu Dalits started fighting. Then Sikh Dalits got it. Sikh scheduled caste, Sikh of Punjab, scheduled caste got it. When Sikh scheduled caste Punjab got it, Hindus and Sikhs are very happy. They never said that, no, Buddhist scheduled caste also should get reservation. Christian scheduled caste also should get reservation. They never said. They are happy. Sikh scheduled caste were with all other scheduled castes demanding the reservation, scheduled caste reservation, as long as they didn't get. When they got it, they are also happy with Hindu Dalits, but they never bothered about the rest of the Dalits. Now what happened? So many years gone, some 50 years gone. Then BP Singh government, Vishwanath Pratap Singh government came. Ramvilas Paswan was a welfare minister. So it was a Ramvilas Paswan, welfare minister. He demanded the Vishwanath Pratap Singh, VP Singh, Janata Dal government, Prime Minister of India at that time. That government made changes. Then they made a Buddhists also can get reservation, scheduled caste reservation. Till then, Buddhists were supporting the Christian scheduled caste. When Buddhist Dalits also got reservation, they also joined Hindu Dalits and Sikh Dalits and Buddhist Dalits. They are getting. But they are not. Till then, as long as Buddhist Dalits were not getting reservation, they were supporting, demanding that all Dalits should get the reservation. Scheduled caste reservation. When they got into, now Buddhist Dalits also keeping quiet. Now left out only scheduled caste Christian Dalits and Muslim Dalits. Now only they are fighting. So because of this, there is no any emotional unity between these people. They are divided into religions. They are divided into castes. They are divided into subcastes. And they don't marry between the castes. There is no Dalit consciousness as such. Scheduled caste is a government identity. Today, that's what. There is a demand. There is a, what is that case in the Supreme Court still pending? Chamars, Mahars should be removed from the scheduled caste list. But politically, it is very dangerous. Which government has a, which government, which political party support this demand? Nobody supporting. So they have adopted new strategy now. What is that? Income. Since you can't remove all Chamars and Mahars from the scheduled caste, you introduce the income. Once you introduce the income, what happened? The influential middle class Chamars and Mahars, they will be out of the reservation. Then poor Chamars and Mahars, they will be happy. As if they are going to get reservation. They are also not going to get. Why? Because even to get reservation, you have to be a middle class. Why? Just because of scheduled caste, you can't get reservation. You have to be educated. Who gets education? Middle class people. Education makes the middle class. Why these people are against the middle class of the educated people, wealthy scheduled caste and scheduled tribe. Why? Because they want to disconnect. Because only middle class speaks. Middle class is the voice of any community in a democracy. Democracy is nothing but a rule of middle class. If you detach Chamar middle class, Mahar middle class, Mala middle class, Madhika middle class from the rest of the community, then all the poor people, what they speak, they don't speak. Why? Why it's happening? Why? Because we are having only reservation consciousness. As long as you get a reservation, you are a scheduled caste. Otherwise, you are not. That's what scheduled caste means. But Dalit consciousness is different. Scheduled caste consciousness is a rule-based rule. That's what Ambedkar is talking. Dalit consciousness principles, whether you get reservation or not. There are many Christian organizations. There are many Dalit Christian organizations, Dalit NGOs, Christian NGOs in Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, in South India. They always support Ambedkar, Buddhists and Dalits. That human rights, Dalit human rights. It's led by the Dalit Christians only. But Dalit Christians don't get reservation. Even then they are supporting, they are standing with Ambedkar, Buddhists and scheduled caste. But what about the Hindu Dalits? What about the Buddhist Dalits? Are they supporting Christian Dalits? Why not they are supporting? Because they don't have Dalit consciousness. They have only scheduled caste consciousness. And scheduled caste consciousness will disappear once you don't get a reservation. And these people want the same thing. These people want to eliminate middle class, Chamar middle class, Mahar middle class, Mala middle class, Madhika middle class from the reservation. Dalits, there are Mala, Madhika, Christians. They are Mala, Madhika, they are scheduled caste only. But they don't get the reservation because they are scheduled caste. They are Chamar, Mahar only. They don't get the reservation because they are Buddhists. Till VP Singh gave the reservation. The problem is the same. But we are acting only when we have an interest in the reservation. That is called a scheduled caste consciousness. If you don't have Dalit consciousness, you will not. Scheduled caste consciousness is based on the rules, not the principles. As long as you get reservation, that's why I could see many Ambedkarites saying that I am today because Ambedkar gave reservation. If Ambedkar doesn't give you reservation, so you don't support Ambedkar. Then why the South Indian Christians, Dalit Christians supporting Ambedkar? They don't get reservation. And Buddhist Mahars, they didn't get reservation till 1983. Till the VP Singh gave them reservation, 83 or 86 some year. So even then Buddhist Mahars, they supported Ambedkar. They also didn't get reservation till the VP Singh gave them reservation. So all over India, in central government, even Buddhists, Mahar Buddhists got reservation only when VP Singh made them, only Ramvilas Paswan made them to get it. The question is not about reservation. Reservation is one part. Anything which is given, it has to be taken also. It will be taken. Don't think that reservations are going to be permanent. Of course, today these people may not be successful. But one day gradually they will be successful. Today they will introduce the income. There is Supreme Court gave one observation to introduce the income. Already Supreme Court gave. And who is the judge? Is the Dalit judge. Dalit judge, Buddhist judge, Mahar judge. Ambedkar judge. He only gave an interpretation that there should be income in the scheduled caste reservation. What is his name? Judge, what is his name?
Bhushan Gavai, sir.
Yes. Justice Bhushan Gavai. So, my dear friends, what I know, we need to have a intellectual strength. Rest of the challenges keep coming. If you are reacting only to reservation because you are losing, that is our foolishness. Why we always talk about reservation? Why we always talk about the constitution given remedies, safeguards? Things will change. How long you protect? If not today, tomorrow, they are certainly going to change the rules. Rules are going to be changed. Even Buddha said that one. Anything which is born has to be changed, has to be died. The rules are like that. That's why they are asking, change the constitution. Why they are asking? And today we are stopping them. But some or other day, certainly they are going to change. When they change, we need to have a more better constitution than this. Isn't it right or not? Tell me. But change you can't stop. Remember, change you can't stop. If they want to destroy the reservation system, we need to have a better system than the reservation. Isn't it right or not? But change you can't stop. So don't think that, this particular system, what is today reservation system, will be forever. Or Constitution of India written by Ambedkar forever. Don't think like that. We don't want to bring any change because whatever Ambedkar visualized, that is not yet achieved. That's why we don't want to change. It doesn't mean that system will be forever the same. No. Though caste system fundamentally it is there, but so much of change happened. So, my dear friends, you want to really face the challenges, have a broad mind, have a vision, broad vision, not for today. Look at the RSS. 100 years, today it came into the power. What about the Dalits? Only sloganeering. Fine, Constitution of India is there, Ambedkar is there, fine. These are all strategies. What is the long-term vision? So we need to reconstruct Dalit society. We need to create our own ecosystem, be it a social media, be it a intellectual ecosystem. We need to build. Why I invited my friends? Many of Dalit intellectuals I invited to deliver lectures on the KIDK platform. Many of their opinions are differing from me. Even then, why invited? Differences are not important. Important is that whether we are unitedly meeting or not. We are creating the meeting points or not. That's matter. So my idea is simple. Create a Dalit intellectual ecosystem. That is the main purpose why I invited all Dalits, irrespective of their ideologies. I invited. So that we can question them, we can interact with them. That's one. Another thing is that without strong intellectual class, you cannot rebuild Dalit society. Without having a strong intellectual class, you cannot address the challenges, which of course challenges are recurring. It's going to be there every time. So only the way to address these challenges is that we have to create a strong Dalit society guided by a strong Dalit intellectual class. So with this, we can stop. We can go ahead for the vote of thanks.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for giving a wonderful explanation. I just want to add a little that we have to request, I have to request you on the behalf of Karunyakara Institute of Dalit Knowledge that you should conduct one lecture on Dalit consciousness, represent the universal principle. That is, after listening you today's lecture, I think it will be a mandatory for all of us to listen from you about the Dalit consciousness, represent the universal principle. Thank you. Now I request I request to Shashikant Sambodhi to please give official vote of thanks for today's lecture.
Thank you. Now with the permission of the chair, on behalf of the Karunyakara Institute of Dalit Knowledge, it is my immense pleasure to extend a heartfelt vote of thanks for this session. First and foremost, our deepest gratitude and warm regards goes to Professor Lilla Karunyakara sir, a respected Dalit historian and a profound Ambedkar thinker. We are truly grateful to him for kindly chairing this session and delivering such a wonderful and thought-provoking lecture as the key speaker on the topic Annihilation of Caste, Section 23. Professor Karunyakara is a former Vice Chancellor of Mahatma Gandhi Antarashtriya Hindi Visvyadhyalaya, Wardha, and a renowned expert on Dalit affairs and Dr. Ambedkar writings. His insights today have greatly enriched all of us. We also extend our sincere thanks to all the participants and attendees who joined us for the 62nd online lecture in the KIDK lecture series. A special word of appreciation to our dedicated coordinators, Dr. Sukeshni, Dr. Darshana, Dr. Smita, Mr. Akash, Mr. Shreyat and Mr. Vijay. for their tireless efforts and unwavering support in making this session a grand success. This lecture series, which began on last year on the occasion of Ambedkar Jayanti 2025, continues to be a powerful platform for spreading Dalit knowledge, critical ideas, and new perspectives in the field of Dalit studies. Thank you once again to everyone for your active and valuable participation. Before we conclude, please don't forget to subscribe to our Dalit Knowledge YouTube channel, where the recorded session will be uploaded shortly. Jai Bhim. The session is over, sir.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Take care. Please also subscribe and share the videos of Karunyakara Institute of Dalit Knowledge. We are going to meet on next Saturday. Bye-bye.